About preserving our proud traditions and the simple life of our ancestors before the crazy modern world takes over. This world is changing, and we Pearl girls are changing with it. But what makes us so special, what gives us our charm, is that we can change while knowing how to leave well enough alone. That's the Southern way, and the Pearl Girl way. And I hope this audiobook shares a little bit of that special Southern charm with you. Mr. Oakley's Southern Style Party. 1 front porch and a swing. 1 jigger of fireflies. 1 ice cream churn. 1 heaping handful of friends and family, and a pinch of love. Stir all the ingredients together, season to taste with old-fashioned singing. Makes enough to serve the neighborhood with plenty left to share. Chapter 1. Southern Entertaining. More than a hootenanny. Of the Southern translation, a hootenanny is an old-fashioned gathering to hear and share good old Kentucky bluegrass music, a foot-stomping good time, and what happens whenever 2 Pearl girls get together. So get out of the way, boys. When it comes right down to it, Southern hospitality is born of a unique lifestyle, one of grace and style faced with a deep appreciation for leisure and laughter. It is a blend of many honorable virtues passed down through generations, gentleness, kindness, and the receiving of strangers and friends alike with openness, selflessness, and caring. From Emil Jenkins, Southern Hospitality. Start polishing the silver, light the candles, and ice down sweet tea, or goodness, honey, just pull out some paper plates and pop open a 6-pack. We're having a party, Southern style. A Southern girl knows how to entertain, whether it's throwing an intimate dinner party for 8 or a catered affair for 800. Maybe she's putting the finishing touches on a handmade wedding cake, or maybe she's putting the store-bought sweets on her mama's china. Either way, she does it with a smile on her face that makes every guest feel welcome. Southern parties and Southern hostesses are different from those in the rest of the country. Entertaining is more gentle, more traditional, and centers more around the home. You're likely to sip a drink on someone's porch before you meet up at a bar. We value Mama's china and her gracious good manners. But we also know we can use it to serve a roast cornpole or sushi. Southern parties and Southern women are the very best of the old and new. In my mind, there are 5 elements that make Southern parties what they are. The front porch, for our friends and neighbors. Sweet tea, which is about our tradition. And Grandma's silver, all about family. Christmas oranges, going out of our way. Champagne, bringing in a new sparkle. So let's walk through them. The front porch, friends and neighbors. Southern entertaining begins on the front porch. Once the front porch was a gathering place for people to talk. Some folks, men mostly, call it gossip. The porch is where people would gather, sit in the shade, drink sweet tea, and wait for someone to walk by to join them and share the news. Back then, the news wasn't about shootings or terrorism, but about what was happening in the lives of the people we knew or loved, or at least tolerated. The front porch was where we gathered on our porch swings and rocking chairs and gently rocked to the slower rhythm of the Southern life. We Southerners still have a front porch philosophy of life, a bit more relaxed, a bit more sharing, and a bit more welcoming than is found in other parts of the world. Southern entertaining is the same as it always has been at its heart, no matter whether it's a wedding, a baby shower, a cocktail party, a cookout, bar mitzvah, a hunt breakfast, or Christmas. A Southern party is about the front porch of the heart. It's about gathering together to share the news, whether life carries us to a South Carolina feed and seed or a New York penthouse. It's about being together to share ourselves and our love. And whether we can afford plywood or teak, it's about setting a spell and rocking to the rhythms of Southern life. And honey, most of all, it's about having a good old time. 5 ways to bring the front porch back to your life, whether you live in a high-rise condo or a plantation manor. 1, make up a batch of your favorite cookies. Write down the recipe by hand, and better yet, the story of where you got the recipe, and deliver them to a neighbor you don't know very well. 2, buy 2 serving bags of coffee. Hand them out to friends you haven't spoken to for a while with notes reading, "Let's get together and share this sometimes." 3, schedule a date with one of your children or your significant other. Order a pizza, turn off the phone and cell phone and BlackBerry, anything that beeps, and spend a couple of hours together. 4, visit a nursing home and talk to the residents. Bring a handful of magazines and paperbacks for entertainment. Remember, the front porch can be anywhere people need to talk. And 5, host a trivia night for the neighborhood. Place an invitation in each mailbox with a couple of facts about yourself and your family. And say that you just want to get to know the neighbors better. Have questions about your state and city or town. This is especially good if you're a Southern native and you live near newcomers. You'd be surprised how fast your living room becomes the front porch for the whole neighborhood. Sweet tea, our tradition. There was a time when if you sat down to a meal in the South, from the humblest farm to the fanciest white tablecloth restaurant, you'd be offered tea. And that meant one thing: old-fashioned, homemade sweet tea. Not unsweetened, not hot, not even, well, heaven forbid, powdered, but that rich orange concoction that refreshed even on the most dusty August day. Sweet tea was the Southern beverage of choice, welcomed by hard-partying, honky-tonk men and Baptist preachers alike. Sweet tea to us Southerners was what wine is to the French. Without it, Grandma's biscuits or Aunt Sissy's fried chicken steak just wouldn't be the same. It was a tradition that brought us together and always meant a taste of home. Now, sweet tea wasn't something you just whipped up in an instant. If you took shortcuts, you'd end up with something cloudy and bitter. Southern sweet tea was like Southern life. It was all the richer and sweeter because we took the time to do it right. You had to bring a half-gallon of water to a boil and steep 2 family-sized bags of tea for no more than 4 minutes. Stir in as much sugar as you and your diabetes can take sugar, and let it set until cool. Then you added water to taste and chilled it just right. If you followed your mother's recipe and did it just so, you'd have the perfect glass of home. Southern parties still have sweet tea at their heart. They're a reflection of our traditions and of ourselves, a taste that brings us back to what we once were and what we can try to be. Why, you know a Pearl girl knows that stirring a package of sugar into a glass of cold tea won't give you a real Southern iced tea flavor. Always add your sweetener when the tea is still warm, as the heart of a Southern belle. When I was a little girl, life in the South was much simpler. My parents were sharecroppers, and we lived in a little town of Piney Chapel, Alabama. People didn't just pack up and move to California or Alaska or Timbuktu. We lived on the same land where our parents and grandparents had farmed. And when it came time to settle down, we built a little house near to our people. Do you know what a rippet is? A wild, noisy party? Or when we girls get together, we rip it up and have a rippet. Things have changed a lot since then, and in a lot of ways for the better. You know, I'd rather be writing these books than working before dawn and worrying about the rain, the drought, and the pest. Besides, working the land would mess up my manicure. My hands might have calluses from my younger days, but I'm proud of them. Life is a lot easier, but in a lot of ways it's harder too. Since we move around a lot more, holding on to tradition has become a bigger challenge. Why, goodness gracious, did you all know that kudzu was introduced to the South during the Dust Bowl of the 1930s? Like a lot of transplants to the South, kudzu turned out to love its new home, maybe a little bit too much. We've all seen trees, electric poles, and barns covered with the bright green leaves, and even a few lumps that look like slow-moving people. Has anyone seen Aunt Eunice lately? Kudzu has become a nuisance, but it does teach us a lesson. The mile-a-minute plant is a part of the South that reminds us of the dangers of moving too fast. Like slow-brewed tea, Southern entertaining is about slowing down and taking time, no matter what. We Southerners have always known that entertaining is the one thing in life that is always appropriate. We may be going through a divorce, the 4th time. The plant might be closing down. We might be losing our man.